The ocean guards hidden treasure in ways no vault ever could. Down we go, through water that darkens like a closing eye, past where sunlight surrenders, past where colors lose their names, down into the realm where the Atlantic keeps its secrets, locked behind walls of cold and pressure. Somewhere in this underworld, beneath tons of water that press like accumulated centuries, lies what was never meant to be found. The vault, or the idea of it. The legend whispered across generations that somewhere in Titanic's iron belly, behind doors that rusted shut a lifetime ago, there waits a fortune. Diamonds that caught the ballroom light, sapphires worn against warm skin, gold that purchased passage on a ship promising tomorrow. Somewhere behind these walls, in chambers we can only imagine, wealthy passengers stored their most precious things. The items are too valuable to wear at dinner, too important to risk. The inheritances, the engagement gifts, the proof of worth was carried across an ocean. Did they think about them, we wonder, in those final minutes, when the ship groaned and tilted and the impossible became real? Did a woman pause at her cabin door, hand hovering over the lock, remembering the sapphire inside? Her grandmother's, brought from the old country, worth more than passage, worth more than the dress on her back. Did she reach for it? Or did she understand, in that crystalline moment of clarity that comes when everything ends, that the jewel couldn't save her children, that diamonds don't float, that all the gold in the vault couldn't buy back the seconds already lost? Maybe a man stood in the flooding corridor, knee-deep in Atlantic cold, and thought about the ring he'd hidden in his luggage, meant for a proposal in New York. A beginning. He'd spent months choosing it the perfect stone, the perfect setting. Practiced the words he'd say when he knelt. Did he wish he'd worn it on a chain around his neck, kept it close? Or did he let it go in his mind before his body ever touched the water, released it back into the realm of things that don't matter when measured against the people we love, the breath we take, and the moment we're living right now? We think they knew. In those final minutes, as the ocean claimed what it would claim, they learned what we're only beginning to understand. That value is the first thing to drown, and what surfaces, finally, in the mind's last accounting, is never what glittered. It's who held your hand, who you wished you'd forgiven, the ordinary afternoons you never thought to treasure. The real jewels, it turns out, were never locked away at all. We drift toward what might have been first-class quarters. Here, the ruin feels different, more intimate. The destruction is less chaotic, more like a slow forgetting. Walls have dissolved into suggestions, furniture reduced to outlines, and scattered throughout tiny constellations of loss. Gold coins, green with verdigris, lie half buried, currency from another era, minted when this ship was still a promise on a blueprint. They bought nothing in the end, purchased no safety, no tomorrow. A diamond, we think it's a diamond, sits wedged in what might have been a door frame, just the stone, no setting, no context. It catches our light and holds it, throwing it back in rainbow fractures that seem impossible at this depth, in this darkness. How did it get there? Dropped in panic, abandoned deliberately? Or did the ship's violent descent lodge it there, pressed into place by forces too immense to comprehend? Below us, the wreck fades into black. Above, the surface waits distant, unreachable from here, but present, promised. Our lights sweep back one final time across the exterior. The ocean has claimed all this metal, all this ambition, and remade it as a memorial. The rust blooms like flowers. The damage reads as architecture. Even the decay seems purposeful, as if the deep knew what it was doing all along, taking treasure, making meaning. We carry nothing with us as we rise. The artifacts stay where they fell, where they drifted, and where the current placed them over decades of patient rearrangement. We document, we witness, we record coordinates, but we don't take, because somewhere between the surface and the floor, between the moment we descended and now, as we climb back toward light, we learned the lesson the ocean has been teaching all along. Treasure isn't what we thought. It's not the jewels or the gold or the fortune locked behind vault doors that may never have been real. It's this, the fact that we remember that a ship can sink and its people can die and a century can pass and still we return. We descend into darkness to bear witness, to say you were here, you mattered, your rings and your coins and your lockets and your dreams, they all mattered. The vault isn't empty, it's full of every story we tell about it, every dive we make, every moment we spend hovering in the cold and the black, marveling at what survives. The Atlantic keeps its secrets, but it shares them too, with those patient enough to listen, brave enough to descend, willing to understand that the real treasure was never metal or stone. It was always a memory, and memory doesn't rust. It doesn't corrode or collapse or drift away on the current. It stays, like those jewels scattered across the ocean floor, small, persistent, catching light when someone finally comes looking. We rise now toward the world of air and color and voices, but part of us remains below, in the vault that was never locked, in the treasure that can't be spent, in the deep blue keeping of the Atlantic, where everything lost becomes, eventually, something found.